To give you an overview of Cowboy Cousins, basically our mission is to connect international students with national students on campus and create an environment where they can learn about each other's cultures and build friendships to support each other.
Just a little bit of a backstory for me. So I studied abroad last spring in the Czech Republic, and it was an incredible opportunity. It was right before COVID hit, so I was there for 6 weeks, and I was exposed to so many different cultures, nothing like in Oklahoma. And so that's afterwards I came back, and then Cooper texted me, "Are you interested in the position?" And I decided to join Cowboy Cousins. And I really realized that, while I had the opportunity to study abroad, a lot of other students don't get that opportunity. And Cowboy Cousins is the closest thing we have here at OSU, where, you're meeting people from all over the world, from different perspectives, backgrounds, so different than just, your friends from home and things like that. So I think it's such an important organization, especially in today's age, with our political climate and, the BLM movement and all of that. It's so important that we're listening to others and hearing other people's opinions. And I think Cowboy Cousins really gives our students the opportunity to do that, along with our international students.
Aarushi hit the nail on its head, but really it's so important to just expose yourself to a ton of different viewpoints during college, because I feel like, yes, while you're here to get your degree, you're also here to develop yourself into who you're going to be. And I think a huge part of that is hearing from other perspectives and learning from other people's experiences. And I think Cowboy Cousins is a great way to do that. Cowboy Cousins is a great opportunity to meet other people on campus and learn from their experiences. If you want to learn about other cultures and be exposed to different viewpoints, then this is a great opportunity to do that.
And it's such a great opportunity, not just for, like we said, because it's such a mutual beneficial relationship, not just for our national students, but also for our international students to automatically have those friendships at the university. And we actually we had an event just the other day, and we had a speaker come and talk at it. And he said, which I thought was a great point, he said one of the great opportunities with Cowboy Cousins is that a lot of our international students don't immediately get involved on campus. They don't really know about the different opportunities and things like that. So Cowboy Cousins also does that. I mean, you can talk to other students, see what they got involved in, different organizations, leadership positions, internships. So our international students also, are helped, through career opportunities and things like that. It's not just a friendship.
So at our event the other day with the international student that kind of spoke about his experience in Cowboy Cousins, he mentioned that because of getting involved with this organization, his buddy was like, "Hey, have you ever thought about joining student government?" And before then he hadn't really thought about it, but just being aware of those opportunities, it allowed him to get really involved on campus. And kind of like Aarushi said, there's different events that could be helpful towards their career that just kind of helps them get plugged into different things on campus.
Basically, over the summer or the beginning of the first few weeks of school, we sent out an application to both our national and international students. And the application just consists of basic questions like, where are you from? For international students, we ask a lot of questions like, what do you miss most about home? What are you most excited to, do at OSU? And then Cooper and I go through the applications and we pair up our international and national students. Because of just how it works out, we often have way more national students. So it becomes more of a group. There'll be an international student with multiple national students. And like Cooper said, we are trying to go away from the buddy system, but these groups basically give them the opportunity to meet one-on-one with our international students outside of our events, and just kind of talk to them and let them, become friends outside of just our events. Besides those groups, Cooper and I also plan additional events for all our international and national students. We just had one, like we said, we brought an international student speaker, we had ice cream, we had raffle tickets. And so it was just a great opportunity for everybody to meet in person, with COVID and all of that. And so we were outside wearing masks. But yeah, so it's really just a great event. We just plan different events for people to network with one another.
It's been a little weird this semester, but last semester did we have 2 planned events, Aarushi?
Yeah.
And then we also try to encourage students to go and like, hey, this is happening on campus this week. And usually like when we did it last semester, they were all like cultural events from different clubs. We were like, hey, these events are happening this week. Aarushi and I will be at these ones, like try to go with your cowboy cousin. So we had like basically 2 planned events and then gave them like some more opportunities last semester. And then this semester we had 2 events as well. And one of which it was really cool. It was a Zoom call with our university president and the international students. So we had about, I think like 12 to 15 international students, and then President Hargis and his wife, Anne, and they got to like interact one-on-one with the president, and it was really cool to see.
We encouraged them to text one another. We also started something this semester where we just created a group me, so a big group chat with all just our international students. So if they have events coming up or questions, concerns, anything like that, they can send it to not just Cooper and I, but all the international students. We found that, like Cooper said, the event we just had with the president, I felt at least that allowed our international students to become closer with one another. Even during COVID times, even though it was virtual, they really got to interact with one another. And so I think the group chat that we created in that event has really helped them, get closer to one another as well. We don't have any surveys or actual data, but I've been involved in the program since freshman year. And even through COVID, our numbers in the program have never really dropped. We've always had a lot of people involved, and people always reapply every year. So while we don't have actual data, people are staying in the program and attending events.
Kind of what has happened this past year is we haven't really had any specific like job workshops or anything, but there has been events that we've been able to send out, or like in the international student group me, they're like, hey, this is going on this week. And so just from like, I guess, connecting with one another, they have been able to hear about some opportunities that maybe they wouldn't have come across before.
Even with COVID, and I think this is something that Cooper and I were really working through first semester, was it's just so important to continue hosting events, anything for them to have any sort of social interaction, even if it's over Zoom, because texting and things like that can only get you so far. You need that human contact. So even as we move forward, and hopefully COVID progresses or, gets better, the whole situation, just continuing to hold events where they can interact with one another, I think is so important and really builds those relationships.
At the end of the day, our goal is to just try to bridge that gap between international and national students on campus, make them more comfortable and like feel like OSU is a home. And a huge part of that is just like feeling accepted and heard, which I think they can get from just being able to share their experiences with someone who's different than them.